I'm Miriam Joy and welcome to my studio. Today we're going to be working on this 4th of July candle holder, and this is really a fun, inexpensive project. What's really great about this is I think there's a total of 5 items all at the Dollar Tree. But if you didn't have the Dollar Tree, you also could find these at other places. So with less than $5, we can do this project. The first thing I'm going to do is go ahead and glue my star onto my candle holder. And they have the stars pretty regular. They keep them in stock pretty good. And I love the star look, and I've done some other projects with you that you can see, like the candy dish holder or centerpiece. So I'm just going to put the E6000 and I'm going to set that right in the middle, and it's great because it has the middle circle and you can just line that up, and so you know that you've got that set. And if you want to line it up with the points, then go ahead and line that up with the points. So we're going to go ahead and set that aside, and we're going to work on our candle. And I just got a plain white candle, and I'm going to be using my wax, and these are my melting pots if you're not familiar with the process. And I put in just regular Crayola crayons. The only one that I did different was I used the Sonic Silver in the metallic pack today. And I put them into the well, and we're going to melt them. The blue, I took a little bit of white, just a little bit, and darkened up the white or the blue, because otherwise it almost looks black. So you want to make sure that you light it up. Just put in a little bit, and if it's not light enough, put in a little bit more. It's better to start with too little than not quite enough there. And I'm using eyedroppers today instead of my tools, in case you're familiar with that. And these are glass eyedroppers. And if you can't find them, then come to my website at miriamjoy.com. We have all of these tools available, including the glue, the droppers, and the melters. And we're going to just start by kind of dripping some of the red down here and there. Now, when you're using the eyedroppers, the one thing I will tell you is when you're done with it, push the air clean of all the wax. Don't get the wax up in here, because that's when you they don't want to work. So keep that area clean. So we're just going to kind of put on red onto our candle here and there, wherever we want it. Try not to make it too even, or if you want to make it real even, that's okay too, I guess. I always tell you there is no right or wrong. And I'm also just going to lightly run some up here as well on the top, so I can get some colors onto our top as well. Now I'm going to use my blue, and remember we put a little bit of white into our blue. All the way around there, and I'm going to do a little bit of silver, that silver sonic that we talked about. I'm not going to do quite as much of it. It's just to give it a little bit of shine. The color on the metallics is kind of dull, so think about that when you're working with the metallics. They're not really for the color, but more for the sparkle. Because if you do too much, it can kind of almost get like a dirty look to it. So we want to kind of keep that simple. And don't get stuck about doing these just for 4th of July. You could do these for any holidays. You could do some for Halloween or Thanksgiving or Christmas. Just change your colors up. Also, I have some different YouTube videos where I use my wax and tools and made specific designs. So check that out as well. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to heat these a little bit and kind of melt them. And while they're melting, I'm also going to try to add a little bit of glitter onto it, just to give it that extra 4th of July sparkle. I'm using extra fine glitter. I'm using a heat gun or embossing tool, and we don't want to over melt our candle because it is made of wax too, but we want to just kind of start to run that. And you can always go back and add more wax. So you can see what I'm trying to get rid of is especially these guys right here, but to add some design to it. And I always call this kind of my twice melted method because you're kind of melting it twice. And we're starting to get a real interesting design. I'm going to leave that. I like the way that looks. I'm not going to do much more, but if you thought it needed more up on top, by all means go back up on top and do some more. And then I'm going to melt this up here and blow that around a little bit and put some glitter up there. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to heat this just a little bit so that I can kind of get my glitter on it a little bit. On the top part is more what I'm aiming for than the bottom. And you could use any glitter, that's fine. And I'm going to heat that just a tad just to set that glitter in. I have one more spot I need. You don't have to put the glitter in if you don't want it. You could put bigger pieces in. You just have to melt them a little bit more. That's kind of the trick to it. Let's get it out of our little pile here. We've got that all messy. Alright, so we've got our little candle all done. See how fun and simple and easy that was, and how you can make a fun candle out of one that's very, very, very plain. And what we're going to do now is we're going to add our little garland to our 4th of July centerpiece, and I think that just really makes it pop. And all I did was simply take my garland and I cut it into strips. I cut mine, probably 14, 16 inches long. You could do them however long you wanted. You could do them shorter, you could do them longer. And I did, I think, about 8. And I actually used 2 types of garland in mine. I used one with bigger stars, and I used one with smaller stars to kind of give it a different effect there. So now we're going to make sure you can see what I'm doing here. Just simply take these, wrap these around, and get those nice and tight on my container. And you really should wait till this is dry. I've kind of bumped it a little bit. Maybe if you were going to do that first and then put your glue on, that would probably be a good idea. And then I'm going to take them one by one, and I'm going to wrap them with my pencil or whatever you want to use to wrap them around. And this is what's going to give it the little style. The one thing I do recommend is when you get to the ends, especially if you have small children around, really take those ends of the wire and poke them in to make them really good. So I'm going to go ahead and finish up all of these, and then we're going to show you how we put it all together. Alright, I got all of these kind of curled, and I pulled some towards the middle. We've got them nice and neatly organized there. And then the last thing I did was I took my candle and I put it in, and I took some necklaces that they had there, and I set them around the candle to kind of brighten it up. And you could fill it with sand, you could fill it with rice, colored rice, or different things like that. You could even make this guy a little bit taller. I really like the silver ones with the stars because I think the stars kind of reflected back to the garland, which I thought was really kind of a cute thing. And I mean, you could do it any way you want to, kind of hang those over a little bit, would also be kind of fun as well. So take this and put your own twist on it. Have lots of fun, play with it, use the wax. Just come up with some great ideas. I'd love to see them. You could always email them to me at art@miriamjoy.com. Don't forget, any of our products, come on over and visit our webpage at miriamjoy.com. Have a safe and happy 4th of July. God bless.